Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, let's discuss Ethereum. Now that Ethereum has rallied off its lows, none of the content is financial advice. Let's get started. Over the last day or so, the wider crypto market has rallied up by about 3.5%. There has been some increase in market cap. You can see 3.5% increase in market cap. ETH taking the center stage for first time after a few months or years. About 10% rally in the last 24 hours. Again, you can see most of the cryptos did have a significant pump. One of the reason over the last 24 hours was this FOMC, where the Fed essentially kept the rate steady. And again, that was one of the narratives on the Crypto Weekly's website, link on the bottom of your screen. FOMC was one of the popular narrative. Now the bullish catalyst and bullish narratives are up. Ethereum share on this narrative wall is kind of low right now, but I think over the next few days to weeks, that attention share on this narrative wall for ETH would potentially increase. Again, we are at a critical juncture right now. The price did bounce off of this support at around $1,500 or so. Again, there was a couple of downturns which took the price slightly lower, but there weren't any weekly closes below this white line at around $1,500. The next target is per this model, or the 21 week exponential moving average is at around $2,266 dollars. Right now the price is at around 2k. We haven't seen 2k ETH since about a while ago. Again, the last time price was at 2k was all the way over here in mid March of 2025. Now that there is this bottoming pattern, again quite similar to this over here back in August 2023 till about October 2023. The next target, again, after the $2,200 target, is at around $2,400 ETH. That corresponds to the 20-week simple moving average, and the ascending trend line, which at the phases of the bear market acted as a support. That level is coming in at around $2,900, confluent with that 0.5 Fibonacci level. And we'll conduct a machine learning based price forecast as well. One of the reason for this bounce is, again, ETH BTC. If you look at, this is the number of Bitcoin that one ETH could fetch, and that is also at a critical juncture of support. Since 2019 we haven't seen that 0.017 level that we saw early early to mid April of 2025. Now the what happened the last time around this level was it the rally. There was a rally from this support to the 20-week simple moving averages. This time around, if that kind of a rally occurs, that would correspond to from the bottom to a peak again, if it's all the way in the short term at around 45%, but if it takes some time, around 40% gain from the bottom on ETH BTC, that could be a target for that pair. Again, a 40% rally from the bottom against Bitcoin. It's if that corresponds to Bitcoin on its USD pair rallying 20% or 15 to 20%, that overall that amplified magnitude would be quite bullish for Ether around on its USD pair at around between 60 to 80% gain from the bottom. I think right now ETH is up quite a bit. Again, over here you can see that the price is already up by about 30% or so from this range, and if you draw it all the way from the bottom, it's up by about 45% from this week in early April of 2025. So an 80% on this gain would be at somewhere around close to that 20-week simple moving average, coming in at around $2,400 again, close to that 0.382 fib level at around 2,400. So there is a lot of area of confluence at these levels. Again, per the machine learning based, before we go to the machine learning based price forecast, again, this is the DCA, or the polynomial regression based fair value estimation of ETH. This gray line denotes what's the fair value, and based on the relationship between the price and the fair value, the risk color codes are assigned, and the purple color codes are associated with less than 10% risk. Right now the risk is at around 10%, close enough to 10%. And if the hypothesis is only to DCA ETH, then the risk levels are, let's say, less than 10 to 20% based on your own risk tolerance. Again, there is no financial advice here. This essentially helps identify where is the bottom for ETH using this polynomial regression function. What we can see that right now the price is in a fairly low risk environment. If the risk tolerance is slightly higher till about end of this blue phase, that's where maximum potential for any bottom or decent accumulation zone occurs for ETH. You can see throughout the course of May 2022 till about November 2023, this was a wider accumulation range predicted by this model. And since February 2025 and again till today, the accumulation zone is kind of intact. Let's see if the prices do go to that as they eventually do between that 40% and 60%, or that is 0.4 to 0.6 risk level. If they go to that level, the price of ETH per this model could be between $4,800, kind of close to that previous all-time high for ETH that ETH reached in November 2021, and that range is between that 4,800 level to about 6,400 level. And 6,400 level is meaningful in several ways. I'll show you with the machine learning based model, but keep that level in mind. The machine learning based price forecast for ETH right now, without any euphoria, that is one standard deviation recovery, is at around 3,200 level. But if there is a euphoria case, that $4,800, that range that we saw at 40% risk per the regression model, that's the 2 standard deviation euphoria case for ETH in the next 6 months per the machine learning model. And the $6,400 is where the 3 standard deviation or 99.7 percentile ceiling for ETH occurs in the next 6 months per this model. Again, the 0.3, again, if you subtract a 99.7 percentile from the 100%, the 0.3 percentile, what that remains, usually that kind of blow off top peak occurs in the post-halving year, like it occurred in 2021 and later part of 2021 around November, and also late December 2017 and early January 2018. Those kind of exceptions beyond the 3 standard deviation ceiling, if they were to occur now, the second half of 2025 is when they could occur at around 6,400 level. For ETH, that is one target for ETH for the regression model as well as the machine learning based model. The regression based, you can see again, instead of looking at color codes, this is the same regression function, provides a similar fair value to identify what is a 2 standard deviation ceiling. Again, that is at around $9,700, but the 1 standard deviation ceiling, again, right now it is at around $6,100. But if it takes, let's say, 3 to 6 months, this level, and this is an increasing function, in the next 6 months the price at 1 standard deviation ceiling could well be at around $6,400. Right now per this model, the price is still under the $2,300 level, which is the first area to look for. If the price rallies above the $2,300 level, that is where the 1 standard deviation bottom occurs. And this model also helps identify if the prices are in a great buy zone or accumulation zone, again DCA below this green line in the bear market, or in any dip buying zones for major alts such as Ethereum. Again, does help find some utility for this model. Again, historically speaking, close to June 2022 till about January 2023, this model predicted a accumulation territory. Again, that was one of the best time to accumulate. Also similar in 2020 and in 2019, towards the end of the year of 2018 and early 2019. And then right now, again, from March of 2025 till today, if the prices were to stay below $2,300 level per this model, that is an accumulation zone. The opposite of this, the green line, is this yellow line. Together, the band 1, lower and upper, formulate the 1 standard deviation or 68th percentile that is 68% of the time, price stays between this yellow and the green zone. In the bull market, the bias is towards the upside, where the prices overshoot the yellow line. In the bear market, they undershoot the green line. So this post halving year, typically per the 4-year cycle theory, most of the times prices do eventually go above the yellow line. If they were to go above the yellow line this time around, the price of ETH could be above $6,400. And looking at some of the time weighted average price based models right now, ETH did spend a significant amount of time below the time weighted average price, which is very unlikely for ETH to do in the post halving year. You can see to identify bottoms for ETH, this time weighted average price, and we have been covering these videos for major alts since the bear market began again, since about this time, end of 2022, early 2023. That's when we launched the channel. Again, in 2025, there were a couple of days where the price was below the time weighted average price. Currently the time weighted average price for ETH is at around $1,500. So again, keep these models in mind. Again, we were making a lot of videos for ETH when the price was back over here. You can check them out on Crypto Weekly's YouTube channel. This is the YouTube channel for today's video, and you can see 7 days ago, 5 days ago, over a month ago, a lot of videos related to Ether you would find, and not just for Ether. We make daily videos for most of the top altcoins and Bitcoin on this channel. So if you like this content, please give us a like and subscribe. And all of these models are available for free. Thousands of hours worth of efforts behind making these models, not just for ETH, for top 100 cryptos. Apart from these models, the analytics that we showed, again, this is one analytics which helps identify the relationship between the price and the 20-week moving average, and helps color code the risk levels in increments of 20 percentile bands, that is between 0 and 0.2 risk. That's where the lowest risk for ETH was. Again, we are out of the woods again per this model since about May 6th or something. The risk for Ether is about 0.2. That means major dip buying per this model. The zone existed from February 2025 till about early May of 2025. Again, that's below 20% risk on ETH. The opposite is when the risk level go above this orange threshold. That's when the distribution phase kind of kicks in, like it did in December 2024, when the price of ETH was in December at around 4,000 level. This model did identify that as a elevated risk. Also in March 2024, when the price again there was in the triple top phase in March of 2024, first time reached 4K after the bear market of 2022. So these kind of analytics again are available for free, daily updated content. Again, if you look at for 2025 though, there is some divergence. Again, Bitcoin and ETH are moving hand in hand, but again, Bitcoin is up about 3% from the year to yearly open, whereas year to date performance for ETH as of yesterday is at around 45% down. That means, again, I'll just update it now to run today's numbers. So now Bitcoin is up 5.5% from the yearly open. Again, these numbers run every day morning at around 8 a.m. Now ETH is down only 40%. Yesterday it was down by about 45%. So a lot of catching up to do to Bitcoin. Again, you can see in 2021, that is the last post halving year, this was how Bitcoin fared in the 2021, whereas ETH in 2021 outperformed Bitcoin in the last post halving year. This is ETH performance up by about 500% towards the end of the year, whereas Bitcoin was up by about 60-70% in the post halving year. So if 2025 were to play out, again, has not played out like 2021 as of today for ETH at least. The graphs look totally different. Again, you can see this was in 2021, whereas in 2025 this is Bitcoin. In 2025 there's blue line, and the yellow line is ETH in 2025. Again, there is a divergence where Bitcoin is outperforming ETH. Again, they're both kind of flat. If Bitcoin were to take off, then again, and ETH were to outperform, this is the blueprint for ETH if it were to follow 2021. So again, by if we were to do it proportionally, let's say if Bitcoin is up by, instead of being up by about 100%, this time it from the yearly open, Bitcoin is up by 50%, and ETH, instead of 600%, that if you multiply it by 4 or 5, 60%, and then ETH up by about 2.2x, sorry 3 sorry 240%, or 3.2x from the yearly open. That puts ETH at, when it was at the yearly open, again over here in 2025, the yearly open price for ETH was somewhere over, again, let's go to the daily chart to analyze what was the price for ETH in early 2025. This is 1st of January. The price was at about 3.3 k. If you do a 3.3x of that 3.3 k, that price of ETH in per that analysis could be at around $10,000. So this is just an extrapolation. So with that, I'd like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.